Well, I won't be able to do a lot of work on the jukebox for about the next week. We have a very warm day today and a few more on the way. I need to get some work done. I mean, pretty soon it'll be so hot I won't be able to get it done. But I had to clean out the ditch. You got to get that ditch cleaned out, and then we'll let this stuff sit here and dry, and I'll clean it up after it dries. It's a whole lot easier to pick up when it's dry than it is when it's wet. But this whole ditch is pretty much done. Down here, I'll pick it up right about in this area down here. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll clean the rest of it all the way to the creek. The creek's down there about 20 feet. But my neighbor came by and offered to help with his rake, and that made the job a whole lot easier. There's some new folks that moved in down the road from us. His wife is a school teacher, so I think she teaches first or second grade or something like that. But anyway, that's what I've been doing all morning with him. His name is Dave. Well, I'm finally able to get out in the old garden here a little bit. I got to get things going. It's already past the middle of March. I haven't got a single seed or potato in the ground. I need to get that going. So I want to move these boxes this way. I want a space where I can walk down between them. Last year we had that flood. I just kind of threw them together any way I could. I was getting a late start. So I just pushed them together and planted, you know, whatever plants I could find that were left. Tomato and cucumber, stuff like that. A little old horseradish down there is doing pretty good, Scott Johnston. I'll show you a close-up on that shortly. But we're getting ready to move this. I got all the dirt moved this way in both boxes. Now I need to fire up the weed eater and get all this crap out of here. Alright, I had to dig a little level spot here because this is all one box. I need to drag it all this way. Let's see if I can do it. Nope, I'm going to have to break it loose with the shovel first, I guess. Well, I'll tell you what, that dirt is just like glue. There we go. Alright. Hopefully that'll do it, probably not. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I think that's going to just about do it. I'll square it up, pull the dirt back to the left, and we'll have a nice little walkway right down through here where it gives me more to weed eat. I just love it. Now I got to move these poles. They all got to be moved along with the wood. No problem. I'll move this one first. I got a couple of them here that I took out. We'll go ahead and get those in first. I don't put them in too deep. I'm not one that wants to wrestle with this thing trying to get them out later. Just get it in good enough to where it'll hold. A little more maybe. That's about right. And we'll stick another one over here. And then I'll have to cut loose all these cross poles. This is where our tomatoes are going to go. Do it now while the ground's soft. Get it down a little bit lower. I want to get down to about that height right there, I guess. Got to go a little lower. These make great ways to grow tomatoes. They come up, you tie your tomato plants up to these cross bamboo things. I picked these up at Lowe's. Just tie them on with strings, you're done. You can use them year after year. Well, all that's done and tied up, ready to go. This year I cut the ends off those long ones. I don't know why I didn't do it last year. I just got too lazy, I guess. But she's good to go, ready for some tomatoes. Can't put any tomato plants in or cucumber plants or anything like that until after the first week in April. You know, we get these late frosts here sometime. I've had more than one garden wiped out because I planted too early by frost. Anyway, the sides on the potato patch here are bulging out. One there. It's just, you know, pressure from the dirt and everything here. We're going to pull those in and we're going to fasten these boards right here. These pressure treated boards are going to be fastened there. We're going to straighten that mess out too. Well, that takes care of that. The boards are a little bowed. There's not much I can do about that. And the weather got to them, but at least they're not jutted out. Both sides have a good bow to them. This one here in particular, boy, I'll tell you, but it came in quite a bit, but it's just got that Bo, nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to, you all remember what this patch was, don't you? This is the potato patch that whipped old Buzz 1151 to a frazzle last year in our potato growing contest. You know, and then, I mean, it was so bad he wound up in the hospital. You know, that's how bad he took that defeat. And then he claims, you know, well, I was wobbly and I fell and I bumped my head and all this crap. Yeah, right. Why don't you tell us what really happened, Buzz? Wifey, she beat you up because you lost your Potato King crown to me. I want you to spill your guts, come clean. All right, let's come over here. All this dirt's going to have to be swept down and, you know, taking a shovel and move it around. I've got to put new dirt in here, new fertilizer. And this is our horseradish plant right here. It's finally sprouting out. I kept this one pretty clean all winter. I didn't want any weeds or anything get in it, whereas opposed to over here there was nothing there anyway. But she's doing real good. I got a picture from Scott Johnston, the person, our good subscriber who supplied me with this plant. And in June, I think it is, or July, it'll be a year since I planted it. And that's when I can take a few pieces off and harvest them. You're supposed to let this stuff grow for a year once it's planted. Now, this pile of stuff I've been wanting to get burned, but I was kind of hoping I could do it this winter when, you know, we get some snow. Just set it on fire and walk away and nothing's going to burn. But we got no snow this winter, not any. So I'm going to have to wait for a wet day to try to get that burned up. I don't want it to get much higher than it is. I'm sorry to say that we now have a second grave out here in our backyard. This was Rusty's. He died a year ago of pancreas cancer. And this is where our little Chihuahua Boo Boo, I buried him. He came down with liver cancer. I just couldn't believe it. And right after I buried him, of course, the rain came and saturated everything and sunk the stones in. So probably when it dries out another day or two, I'll remove those stones and rake it on out and redo the stones. I want to put some fencing around it too. The little Boo Boo, he was so sweet. He was such a strange dog. You know, there'd be 3 dogs waiting in line to get a snack or something. He would always be the one at the end. He never forced himself to the front. He always, you know, he caved in to all the other dogs. You know, he was just one of those very docile types. But he sure liked his nightly massages. I'd give him a massage every night. He'd jump up my lap. He'd get a complete massage, head to tail. But he liked that. But anyway, I talked to the vet. You know, I said, you know, what is going on here? Our 2 youngest dogs, one died of pancreas cancer, one died of liver cancer. I said, why is this happening? These are the youngest dogs. The 2 oldest is doing fine. I said, look at our poodle, Mac. He's, by human years, he's 99 years old, still going strong. He was born in 1999. He said, you know, I was just having that discussion the other day with a couple of vets as to why that's happening. And he said, we came up with the conclusion that it probably has always been happening, but never been diagnosed. He said years ago, you know, a dog just went off in the woods and died, and everybody said, well, he just went off and died. You know, nobody cared much about it. He said, but nowadays people are taking much better care of their pets, taking them to the vet, being diagnosed and all that. And it could be. And our son, our oldest son, John, now, he had a different take on it. He thinks a lot of these dogs we've been getting are coming from these puppy mills, where these scumbag people are, you know, making these little dogs produce as many puppies as they can so they can sell them. And he thinks that there's a lot of genetic defects being caused as a result of that, and there's, you know, very susceptible to diseases like cancer. You know, could be right. I don't know. Anyway, it broke our little heart. I took him down. I held him while they put him asleep. I just hated to do that. You know, they're so trusting. You hold them in your lap. They have no idea they've only got seconds more to live. But he was in such pain. He wouldn't eat. He was starving to death. He hadn't eaten for like 5 days. And I took him in. The vet says, you know, we tried. We gave him antibiotics. We did everything we could. He said it's just too late. You know, he said his little liver was 3 times the size it should be and had cysts all over it. I said, all right, Doc, I guess we don't have any choice. So we have Rusty here, and I'll be getting a little gravestone just like this one. Been waiting for the cold weather to break. We'll get this thing ship-shape just like we have over here. I got to straighten up a stone here on Rusty's little grave here. They're just like family, you know. You know, one more thing about this horseradish that Scott Johnston sent me, or he brought to me, actually at the Dayton Hamvention last year. I put it in my bag, carried it home. For those of you who may have missed that video, it was just a little piece. And this is what we got. Last year it just, took over the entire box. But I'll bet you this thing endured 30 hard frosts during the wintertime. I mean, they were really, it started real early too. And we don't usually get frosts, in the middle of November or whatever. But it hung in there. It disappeared completely. All the leaves fell off and everything. I said, well, that's going to probably be the end of it. Man, she's going strong. Well, today is Saturday, and I don't have any straw. Monday, I'm going to have to get up to the seed and grain store and pick up some straw. I've got to pick up some blood and bone meal. I got to pick up some cow manure, stuff like that. And I want to build another potato patch over here. And similar to this, but not quite as big. I may have like half of some red potatoes and maybe some sweet potatoes. I don't know. We have a neighbor that moved in down the road. We've had some new neighbors here lately. A young couple moved in. They've got a couple of little girls. And she stopped by and introduced herself the other day. And I got talking to her about my garden and everything. And I told her how, I grew a whole bunch of potatoes last year. I had to wind up giving a lot of them away because I didn't have a place to put them. And she said, well, we'll take whatever potatoes you don't want. I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what, why don't I just grow another patch over here? And then when it comes time to harvest them, you can bring your little girls up and we'll let them dig around there and get their own potatoes. I bet they'd love that. She said they would. She's a country girl. And so when that happens, we'll let them come up and do it. So I'm going to be tilling this up, raking it, and boarding it in just like I did here. And I may put a couple of other smaller ones here. I got some onions I want to grow. I wish we hadn't lost all of our little patches last year from that flood, but we did. So anyway, I'll tell you what, let's not stop here. Let's just keep on driving. I want to go in and check my seed potatoes. I put them in the garage at the end of last year in a box covered up where it was cool and dark. Let's see what I got. I haven't even looked at them. Well, here's the bag of them. Holy mackerel, look down in there. Look at this. Holy crow, did they root out or not? Yes, they did. Ooh, we're going to have a lot of fun with those. And here's the other batch I had here. These didn't quite do that like that. These are the white ones. Let's see what we got in the white ones. They sat here all year. We've got a few eyes on those. They'll grow, but they didn't seed out anywhere near those others. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to have to be real picky and choosy on these. I don't know. Well, they all look okay, but I don't see any real, get a little focus here. I don't see any real eyes on any of them. Oh well, we'll see. We'll take them out of here in a little while. Well, that's about it, guys. We're going to have to knock it off here. I've still got other work I need to get done in the yard. And our little Juke is just sitting there waiting for us. We'll pick that up in the next video I upload. Probably won't be until, I don't know. I probably won't upload another video because next time it's just going to be the clutch, We're going to work on this clutch and find out what's going on with it. Probably, I hope, next Tuesday or Wednesday sometime. Like I said, this is a Saturday. Maybe before then, maybe after. I don't know. Lots of work to do now that summertime is here. God, I just love it. Well, not summer, early spring. We could have a couple more cold days. I don't know. Until next time, this is John.